super fun week 6, and we're gonna look back at the Cardinals games and the Cowboys game, but not in that order. First, we're gonna talk about the Cowboys going into. Well, actually, they were home. Excuse me. I don't know why I thought they were in Detroit. That would have made this better for some reason, but them getting thrashed by Detroit 47-9. A lot went wrong here. Some of it predictable, some of it a bit unexpected. So, yeah, I'm going to give this over to the Cowboys fan to try to give a better assessment, at least to lead off on what in the world all transpired here. So, what really, I mean, as much or as little depth as you feel like going into on this, like what really happened here?
I mean, I think you can break this down at its core to the Cowboys forgetting whose birthday it was, that it was Jerry Jones, and they thought it was Stephen A's birthday instead, because that's who they gave a gift to, because he couldn't wait. I mean, at its core, it really was an absolute train wreck. As a Cowboys fan, at the beginning it was like, oh, okay, hey, there's some movement. We've got a couple things. Okay, it's not too bad. And it just never. We kind of stayed in that funk the entire game. We never got out of it. Dak made some particularly poor throwing decisions a couple times in there. There were other things that went on. I think for me, the thing that I've been harping on all season has been we are not good enough in passing to be a pass-only team. We have to, and this is just another game. First, I guess, all due respect to Detroit, what a great game played. It felt like pretty much everything they tried to do worked. It's another game, a lot like the New Orleans game, where it feels like they came in with a game plan and they executed that game plan right off. It was a great game plan. They got on the board early, and it would appear that our coaching staff, the minute that we get behind by 1 point, they completely abandon the run and go to this Dak Prescott has to carry us down the field offense, which we're clearly not capable of doing consistently. So the Lions, I think on offense in particular, had a great game plan. Everything they tried worked. Every trick play that they put together, no matter how old we fell for, it was really bad. Now, with that all being said, the poor maligned Dallas defense, we're missing both of our defensive end type pressure guys. We're missing Kendricks, who runs our defense. We're missing Jordan Phillips. We're missing a corner. Like, we were playing half our starting defense. So, it was like getting, for the Lions, it was like getting to play a college defense in a lot of ways. And our defense actually got some things done in between giving up 47 points. On offense, though, is where the problem is. I think if you're a Cowboys fan, what's the excuse? Like, where are we coming up with an excuse for how we scored 9 points? Again, Detroit's defense looks good. It would be remiss for me not to say that I'm sorry to see Hutch go out. He was a big factor in the game, but their defensive line in general was. They played a great game. It is a loss to the league to see him go out. So, I have no hard feelings against the Lions at all. I'm sad for their loss. They're a good team. I want to see them succeed in many ways. But Dallas, I'm afraid at this point in time, it looks a lot like there's some coaching problems in addition to player problems here. Obviously, we have injury problems, but they're still not really on offense. There's just not a good reason why we look bad on offense. And in any game, you hear that the team that has the least number of turnovers is most likely to win. 5 turnovers is like you should get blown out when the turnover differential is 5. You should get blown out. That's exactly what happened. If we're not going to run the ball and we're just going to abandon it the first opportunity we got, we're not going to win many more games, I don't think. And I will admit that at this point in time, I think and this is just my take, every time Ezekiel Elliott is on the field and they hand him the ball, I think I'm offended. There's a moment of maybe he's still got something left, and we're way past that. So whenever Rico Dowdle is not getting the ball and it's a planned play that we're trying to run and Ezekiel Elliott, there's something wrong there. So and I think we're too late in the season already for that to still be a question they're trying to answer. So again, my hats off to the Lions. Their offensive line, I think, was great. I think they're still rated number 1 in the league. Um, I think that they're going to have a hard game coming up. Cowboys have a much needed bye coming up. We'll see how that's going to work out. I know you watched some of this. Maybe you have a different take other than my crying over the game. What are your thoughts?
A lot of it lines up with what you said. It's just some of the previously mentioned inadequacies. The lack of run game on both sides of the ball stood out here. Got 3 yards a carry and they got 5 yards a carry. We're able to get some pressure on Jared here and there, which surprised me a little bit just because I think Micah's still out. So getting 2 sacks on him and 1 on Hendon Hooker, I probably just came in at junk time at the end. Still 2 on Jared. It's not nothing because they really do have a great O-line. So that is something. There are bright spots, I guess, in certain aspects of play calling. But there was one play that stood out to me where Dak got sacked. And there were 6 men crowding the line. And, they're just threatening. But in a lot of plays, 2 of them will drop out, right? They'll drop into coverage. But that has to be Dak looking at that like, all right, well, if 6 guys all come, we're outnumbered. I need to get rid of this ball. Well, 6 guys came. And I guess it was a long developing play. And so none of the wide receivers were even turning around until like 10 yards deep. And it was just like, well, what did you think was going to happen? Like, either that was a bad play call or Dak should have seen it and audibled out to something else. And I get it. If you audible out to like a run, it's probably not going anywhere, but you also don't risk it back. And so there's a lot of weirdness. And so, yeah, it was strange to see some of that happening. And the trick plays, it felt like I was watching the NFC Kansas City Chiefs, where it's just like, oh, we'll just do whatever weird thing we want. They pulled some of that when they played against us with that hook and ladder. At least theirs didn't get a touch against the against you. They made us look like fools. Probably our fools anyway. But yeah. Moving forward, this is like I still don't know exactly what to make of the Cowboys. You are the kind of organization who will go out and make big trades if you think you can. I do think that there are moves that could be made to make you a bit better. They're not gonna. I don't think you're not gonna magically wave the single player one and fix all your problems, right? I kind of hate when people say that too. They're like, "Oh, well, getting DeAndre Hopkins isn't going to solve all your problems." I was like, "Oh, I thought he was going to play corner. I thought he was going to, kick field goals."
Yeah.
But no. But players are available out there, and you've got the kind of owner who will spend some money. So it might be time for them to explore some things. I can tell you, if my Cardinals get much worse, we're liable to turn into sellers, and I can think of one particular player that might make a lot of sense for y'all. Oh, I'd hate to see him go. He will be gone at the end of this season regardless. That being James Conner. But on the other side of the ball, you need someone else like a Jeffrey Simmons from Tennessee. Someone who can really stack up against the run and slow that down. So God forbid you could actually make opposing teams kind of one-dimensional sometimes. That would be phenomenal.
Be nice.
But still a lot happening there. Because otherwise, like you said, you don't have the horses to be one-dimensional. You are not the 2013 Denver Broncos. And there's going to be some of this. And so we'll see moving forward. Not every team you play is going to be Detroit. I still have Detroit as my NFC Super Bowl representative. So, we'll see moving forward. Any closing thoughts on this game, or do you want to move into the other one?
Yeah, one final note on how clean Detroit's offense was in that game. Going to your point about them being like a Super Bowl potential representative, is they scored on every drive that they had in that game, except when they had the ball for like 30 seconds before half, when they put Hooker in, and then at the very end for the 30 seconds in the fourth quarter, the way they were ending the game. That is complete and utter dominance. My hats off to them for having a good game. My frustration is certainly not the Lions. It's